Hey, what's up? So you've got an interview coming up? That's awesome! It's normal to feel a little bit of pressure, but don't worry, you're not alone. The goal of this video is to break down exactly what matters when you're preparing for an interview and how you can crush it step by step. And we're going to dive deep into some key areas. Why is time so important in an interview? How can you match your skills with the role they're looking for? And yes, we're going to talk about that all-important dress code and appearance. So grab a coffee, sit back, and let's dive in. 1. Importance of interview time. All right, first up, time. This one might sound a little obvious, but trust me, it's more than just about showing up on time. Let's break down why timing in an interview matters and what you can do about it. The first impression, punctuality. Let's start with the basics. You know how they say first impressions are everything? Well, when it comes to an interview, punctuality is huge. If your interview is scheduled for 10:12 a.m., do not show up at 10:05 or 10:15. It's always better to get there a little early, 5 to 10 minutes tops. This shows that you're responsible, reliable, and respectful of their time. But here's the kicker. Showing up too early can be just as bad. I'm talking like 20 minutes early. When you arrive too early, it might make the interviewer feel rushed to get started, or it might create some unnecessary awkwardness. So aim for that sweet spot. Arrive 5 to 10 minutes before your scheduled time, and use those extra minutes to relax and gather your thoughts. If you're early enough to wait in the lobby, that's fine. Just stay calm and don't let any nerves take over. Managing your time during the interview. Time doesn't just matter when you arrive. It's about managing your time during the interview too. What I mean by that is this. Be mindful of how much time you take to answer questions. Of course, you don't want to rush through your answers, but try to avoid over-explaining or rambling. You want to make sure you're succinct and clear. There's a balance between saying enough and saying too much. So, when you get a question, take a brief pause, just a second or two, and then give a structured answer. If you find yourself talking for longer than 2 minutes, pause and check in with the interviewer. Ask, does that make sense? Nice, or would you like me to dive deeper into any part of that? Remember, it's not just about how much you say, it's about how effectively you communicate. The interviewer's time is valuable, and here's something to keep in mind. The person interviewing you probably has a packed schedule. They're juggling multiple interviews or meetings, so they might not have all the time in the world to chat. They want to know if you're the right fit for the role, and they want to get to that answer quickly. So, respect their time by staying on point, staying engaged, and moving through questions smoothly. In the end, time is a sign of respect. Show up on time, manage your responses, and be mindful of how you're using both your time and theirs. 2. Skills and time. How to showcase your expertise. Let's move on to something that really makes or breaks an interview. Your skills. Your qualifications are obviously a big part of why they're interested in you. But it's not just about having the right skills. It's about how you talk about them and how you connect them with the role you're applying for. Matching skills to the role. One of the biggest mistakes candidates make is not aligning their skills with the job requirements. It's great that you have experience, but do your skills align with what they're looking for? Before your interview, take the time to study the job description in detail. Highlight the key skills and qualities they're asking for. Then think about your own experience, whether it's from past jobs, school projects, volunteer work, or personal side projects. How do your skills match up? For example, if the job description says they need someone who can handle tight deadlines, don't just say, I'm good at working under pressure. Instead, share a specific story of a time you had to meet a tough deadline. Say something like, in my last role, I was assigned to a project that had a very tight deadline. I organized the team, broke the work into manageable tasks, and ensured we stayed on track. We ended up completing the project on time, and it was one of the most successful product launches that year. That's much more effective than a general, I can handle pressure. Time management, demonstrating your ability. Another way to tie your skills into time is by showing how you manage your time effectively. In any role, time management is key. In fact, most employers will want to hear about your ability to juggle multiple tasks efficiently. You can share examples of how you prioritize tasks, organize your workflow, and use tools like project management software to stay on top of deadlines. Again, try using specific examples. For instance, in my previous job, I used a project management tool called Trello to break down my tasks. I would set daily priorities and check in on my team's progress every morning. This helped us meet deadlines and even exceed expectations for a couple of big projects. The goal here is to show them that you're not just talking about your skills, you're demonstrating them in action. 3. Dress code. Your appearance speaks volumes. Now let's talk about appearance, because whether we like it or not, the way you dress for an interview does matter. Dress for the job you want. First things first, dress appropriately for the role. The general rule of thumb is to dress one level more formal than the job requires. If you're applying for a role at a startup with a casual dress code, sure, you can dress business casual, but don't go in looking like you just came from the gym. For example, if you're interviewing for a marketing position, a well-fitted shirt and slacks or a nice dress will work great. If it's for a creative role in a casual environment, you might add a little flair, but always keep it professional. Understanding the company culture. It's also a good idea to consider the company culture. Do some research on how employees at the company typically dress. You can get a sense of this by checking the company's social media, website, or by asking someone you know who works there. For example, a law firm is going to have a much stricter dress code than a tech company, where casual attire might be completely fine. But even if they have a more casual vibe, you should always aim to look neat, polished, and well-groomed. Grooming and hygiene. Now, it's not just about clothes. Grooming and hygiene matter too. Make sure your hair is clean and tidy, your nails are neat, and you're fresh and put together overall. These small details show that you care about presenting yourself well. Also, avoid anything that might distract from your interview. Loud, distracting jewelry, strong fragrances, or messy clothing can take away from the conversation. You want the interviewer to be focused on your skills and experience, not your outfit. Confidence in your appearance. When you dress appropriately and feel good about how you look, it boosts your confidence. You want to walk into that interview feeling like you belong in the room, and the right outfit can do wonders for your self-esteem. Thanks for watching our video. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content. Want to learn even more? Join us today at w.skillcareer.in and take your career to the next level.